Hey guys, so this week's topic is the stupid things that cis people say to trans people, and a lot of you have probably already seen, I made a video about that before I joined this channel, or I guess a little bit after I did, but since a lot of you have probably seen it, I figured that I would make a video sort of explaining the inspiration behind some of the things that I put in there, because I've got some pretty interesting stories.
Oh my god, did you hear that? She just called you sir. Aren't you happy?
So this is inspired by a friend of mine who I've known since about 10th grade. He's a really good friend of mine, but he still kind of has that image of 10th grade me stuck in his head because he lives about 3 hours away at college. So whenever we get to hang out and somebody calls me sir, I actually have to avoid eye contact with him because I know that he's going to be looking at me with this look on his face because he thinks it's something that doesn't happen. He also really likes to call me dude and bro and sock me in the arm and stuff like that. I think he thinks it makes me feel validated, and it's really nice of him, but it's really awkward.
What's your girl name?
So everybody pretty much wants to know what my birth name is when I tell them that I'm trans. That's one of the first questions that people ask. And my story about that I always tell them if I'm in the mood to tell a whole story is that I had an ex who knew, and he said he wished he didn't, because sometimes he would find himself mentally thinking of me by my birth name. So after that, I decided that I would never tell anybody my birth name if I could help it, even if I love them very much and they love me very much. That doesn't mean that, it's that whole laughing in church thing. He knew he wasn't supposed to do it, and so his brain made him do it, and it horrified him. But, brains do stupid things, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So whenever anybody asks me now, I just say, I'm not going to tell you that.
Oh man, if you ever need my help, I can show you how to shave and tie a tie. Actually, I don't know how to tie a tie. You do? Oh, good.
Funny story, I actually learned how to tie a tie before I knew that I was trans, and my mom is the one who taught me. So, go figure. Another thing I didn't put in there is that people like to talk about how me and my boyfriend could get married if we wanted to, and how therefore, we're not oppressed in the same way that other gay couples are. But if we got married, I would have to have, I would be on the marriage license as the wife. And that is not anything that I'm interested in doing. So, yeah, I could technically, legally get married to my boyfriend, but they would be recognizing a relationship that doesn't actually exist because we would not be husband and wife, we would be husband and husband. So, I kind of understand where they're coming from, but it's with a really shallow understanding of identity and oppression. So this one guy was positive that I was cis, and then one of my this girl I went to high school with decided to out me to him in a really terrible, transphobic way. She said, birth name is a straight girl who thinks that she's a gay boy, so she's Michael. Which, very eloquent, obviously incredibly accurate. So after that, he just couldn't, he couldn't do the pronouns, and he would out me to everybody when he did the pronouns wrong so that he didn't look stupid, because, if you call a cis guy she, then it's like, why don't you know what, and that's what it looked like. So he would always be like, he's, trans, so I just didn't, sometimes it's hard, that's why. And I was like, dude, can you stop, please? But a week after he found out, we were sitting in our friend's dorm hanging out, and I was wearing shorts, and he looks over at me and sees the hair on my legs. He says, oh girl, you need to shave your legs. And then he stopped short and is like, well, just because you're a tranny doesn't mean you can't shave your legs. Like that made it better. He was saving it. He was rescuing himself. So I just kind of, I wasn't as confident then. So I was just like, oh, well, I like to not shave my legs because, then people see my legs and they think I'm, not, And he was like, oh, okay, yeah. There's my example of the crowning achievement of transphobia in my life. I know some of that was kind of a downer, but hopefully that last one was slightly amusing, if not also incredibly frustrating and obnoxious. So yeah, I hope you guys like that little behind the scenes look into my video. I'll put a link to the actual video in the doobly-doo, and I will see you next week.